This is the ceiling of bank robbery. First, shoot the bank manager at the door. Then rush into the bank in the chaos. Quickly subdue all the security personnel. Then throw the sound into the crowd. Press the smartwatch. Play the pre-recorded voice.
Everybody down. Put your palms on the floor. Cell phones out. Place them in front of you.
Facing this group of fully armed robbers, everyone can only obey. Then pull the bank manager over. Threaten the teller to open the safe again with the recording. Then send 2 people to patrol the scene. The suspect quickly puts the money into the bag. In this way, $3 million was easily robbed in less than 2 minutes. Before leaving, a remote-control bomb was dropped. If someone gets up within 15 minutes, immediately level this place. Finally, the gang leader came straight to the bank manager, looked at the surveillance above his head, as if to declare execution. A shot sent the manager away. 25 minutes later, the federal police finally arrived at the scene. Because it was not until 20 minutes later that someone dared to call police. The robbers had long escaped without a trace. But what made Chief White feel strange was, the robbers could obviously leave directly. Why kill the non-resisting bank manager? In addition, the police also found a fingerprint on the sound. But after investigation, it was found. The owner of this fingerprint died as early as 2 years ago. What is going on? Just when everyone was at a loss, the robbers started their actions again. The target this time is the foreman of another bank.
Drive to work. Unlock the safety deposit boxes. Do exactly as you are instructed, and no one will be harmed.
Then a robber got off the car and went to the foreman's house. The foreman has never seen the scene. He came to the bank immediately, find an excuse to support the haul. All the staff opened the vault door, find the safe designated by the robber, but he just opened it. A female employee suddenly came back from the toilet, but found a group of robbers entering the bank. He wanted to call the police in a hurry, but was stopped by the foreman in time. But at this time, the security guard suddenly opposed. But he didn't have time to draw his gun. He was shot by the robber, then put it in sound. They opened the safe, take out the documents inside, then pack all the cash and take it away. Then pull the female employee, let her press the security guard's wound, stop bleeding for him. Just at this time, the bank manager just came to work, but he hasn't got off the car yet. A shot bomb was thrown into the car. The manager immediately put on a painful mask. The robber opened the car door, pulled him out of the car, pressed on the ground, without saying a word, with a knife, deliberately left a bullet with fingerprints. The robbers escaped again. 2 robberies in 2 days, and 2 bank managers died. The robber's modus operandi is very professional, except for 2 identical fingerprints. No clues were left to the police. But the most troublesome is not the police, but the big bosses behind the 2 banks. They don't care about the millions that were robbed, but the important document in the safe. They are very angry, causing serious damage to the office. Fortunately, they found a cleaner on the same city network. Arrived in half an hour. Quickly cleaned the office. Before long, Old White began to interrogate the bank foreman, although there is still no useful clue, but learned a doubt from the foreman's mouth. Old Boo has more than 3,000 branches across the United States. Only the smallest branch he cares most. Always go to check the documents in the safe at night. Hearing this, Old White felt that this matter must not be so simple. So he began to track and investigate Old Boo. Found that Old Boo attended the funerals of 2 managers. Also attending with him was participant John. Why 2 inconspicuous roles can attract the attention of such a big figure? Old White is puzzled. What he didn't expect was, when the robbers were most popular, started the 3rd action again. Fully armed robbers sneak into the bank. But they are not after money. Their target is the bank's boss. Just as they are about to act, they are spotted by a federal cop, Old White, who happens to be investigating. Old White stumbles upon them. Everybody down! One robber immediately takes a security guard hostage. But the robber quickly kills the security guard. Turns out it was to draw fire, to allow his accomplice to take the opportunity to kill the bank boss. Fighting the security guard, they can't decide the robber's fight. Before long, only one bodyguard is left protecting the boss. Knowing he's no match, the bodyguard is about to drop his gun, but is crushed by a robber nearby. Old White seizes the opportunity to subdue the robber, but the robber also takes a woman hostage. Still stalemate. Both sides agree to release their hostages simultaneously. When the robber releases the woman, Old White also releases the robber he's holding. He doesn't want to provoke the robbers and cause more casualties. He can only watch as the robbers escape. However, one of the robbers was killed earlier. There should be some clues from his body. But the result disappoints Old White, because he finds there's no record information about this robber. Also, his fingerprints have been burned off. Even his old teeth have been pulled out. Where there's such discipline, and can hide their identity so deeply, it must be the army. Old White immediately thinks of the fingerprints the robber deliberately left behind. And the owner of the fingerprints is a soldier named Mike. But that's all. Old White is still confused about the whole case. Until the next day, he surprisingly receives a document sent by the robbers, stolen from the bank. At this point, everything finally becomes clear. The assault team received orders from their superiors to wipe out terrorists in a building. But after they annihilated the other side, they found out they were just a group of American college students. Before they could react, a special forces team rushed in and started shooting at them crazily. Soon, the assault team was wiped out. But they wouldn't stop. The mastermind is actually the current banker, Old Boo. He used the assault team to kill his own younger brother among those college students, and monopolized all the family property. Then he bribed the commander of the Special Forces, who is now Senator John, with the crime of the assault team's rebellion, to silence them all. And the two killed bank managers. All were members of the assault team. They were bought off by Old Boo and provided clues, so they didn't participate in that operation. All the evidence was kept by Old Boo in the form of documents in a safe. The purpose was to tie everyone to the same rope, and the Special Forces found out that those killed by Old Boo were all their own people. They have always felt guilty. Finally, after many years of retirement, they decided to fight violence with violence and punish these demons in their own way. Before long, Old White received a message. Old Boo was about to be exposed and was preparing to run away. He immediately ordered Xiao Bai and Old Black to stop him. But in the end, it was still a step too late. Old Boo escaped by helicopter. Fortunately, Old White had a new clue. He found the former captain of the assault team, Mike, who was also the robber, who deliberately left those two fingerprints. It turns out that before the Special Forces killed him, they found something wrong, so they secretly let him go. According to Mike's confession, Old White learned of a shocking news. It turns out that the captain of the Special Forces back then was actually his current subordinate, Xiao Bai. And Old White suddenly realized that the so-called leader of the robbers had been hiding under his command all along. He immediately got in the car toward Xiao Bai and Old Black, who were catching Old Boo. But it was already too late. Xiao Bai had knocked out Old Black and had already fled. A few months later, Old White received a message. Old Boo was in a city in Mexico. He went there alone and found Old Boo, and also found Xiao Bai, who had followed Old Boo here. The two talked for a while. Old White actually understood Xiao Bai's thoughts, but he shouldn't have killed those innocent people. Then Old White turned his head and found Old Boo. He knew that with the current situation, he couldn't take Old Boo back at all. So he simply killed this demon with a shiny exterior, with a fork. Old Boo's old bully reacted, just pulled out the gun, but was killed by Xiao Bai on the side. After everything was settled, Xiao Bai put away his gun and left the bar under Old White's gaze. The story ends.